Welcome to our latest video covering Wrath of the Lich King Naxxramas raid for both 10 and 25 man versions. Historically speaking, most raid teams will tackle the Plague Wing second. The first boss encounter you come to in the wing will be Noth the Plaguebringer, a powerful and frozen-hearted evil necromancer. Noth is similar in most ways to the classic 40 man version of himself, including his abilities and their functions, though they are scaled with wrath levels and gearing. Noth has several abilities of note, Curse of the Plaguebringer being one of them. And if that's not immediately addressed, when it comes up, it will turn into Wrath of the Plaguebringer and likely wipe the raid quickly. Additionally, he maintains his Blink and Cripple abilities, which are used in conjunction with one another, in that he will blink away from the tank and cripple people that are in close proximity to him. Try to remove that cripple as quickly as you can from the tank and the raid accordingly. During the encounter, every 30 seconds, Plagued Warriors will be summoned from the bone piles in the corners of the room. 3 in the 25 man version and 2 in the 10 man version. These adds need to be picked up quickly and DPS down. They cleave, so off tanks watch where you place them. However, a good tank can place them near Noth, facing away from the raid team, so that DPS can attack the adds while their cleaves and multi-attacks and whatnot are still able to hit Noth. After 110 seconds of combat, Noth will teleport to a balcony area of the room, and adds will spawn in waves around the room, again from the bone piles. Plague Champions in Wave 1, Plague Guardians in Wave 2 and 3. The Guardians have a 30-yard arcane explosion, hitting for substantial arcane damage in both the 10 and 25 man raids. These guys are nasty. Most raid teams will push DPS hard in order to kill Noth before getting to Phase 2 and 3. The encounter is fairly simple. The tank Noth in the middle, DPS as hard as you can without pulling aggro. Noth blinks away, which is a hard aggro drop, so full stop on DPS. Have cleanses ready to remove the cripple from the tank. This is a #1 priority so that the tank can reestablish aggro, and once they do, start pumping DPS again. Off tanks until it's time for adds, you want to DPS, but when the adds show up, pull them in, face them away from the raid team, and have them being hit by the respective DPS. Wash, rinse, repeat. Try to get Noth below 50% in the first phase to help ensure that you kill him in the second phase, to eliminate dealing with the extra adds later on in the encounter if possible. On the balcony phase, all tanks will have to pick up adds. I would suggest establishing a kill order. Perhaps you set the east, south, west, some type of order so that your DPS know which mobs to kill first and which corners you're starting in. That'll help focus fire them down. When Noth comes back in, it's Phase 1 mechanics again. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Watch aggro drops, max the DPS on Noth, and stay focus fired and get him down quickly. The next encounter in the Plague Wing is Hygen the Unclean, also known as the Dance Boss. Everybody's familiar with him. This encounter has had the gauntlet portion of it removed. No more killing eye worms and bugs in the hallway to get back to the fight. This encounter is 2 simple phases. First phase, ranged DPS and healers run to the platform in the room. Melee and tanks pull the boss and move on to the dance floor, moving the boss across the room while dodging the eruption on the floor. I personally like to focus my eyes on the edge of where the current eruption is happening, so that I have a point I know I need to move past to be safe in the next one. Just repeat this every time you need to move. After dancing around a bit, you'll enter Phase 2 of this encounter, which involves everyone in the entire raid team collapsing down to position 1, and you'll find yourself running across the floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, so that way you don't get caught by the eruption. That's the order you're going to travel in, and then he'll convert back to Phase 1 again, and you simply do the dance over. Mind you want to make sure that he's pulled far enough away from the casters and ranged persons so that they do not get affected by the spell disruption, which increases casting time substantially. And also, don't forget, you're going to want to make sure you have either disease cleansing totems down out there on the dance floor, or you have someone removing diseases so that the decrepit fever is not impacting those who are near Hygen. You will come to Lotheb, the final boss in this wing. Players will still need to kill spores to acquire the fungal creep beneficial debuff that increases the critical attacks by 50% and makes the player cause 0 threats. You want to mind that your tank doesn't get this debuff. Death Bloom will be cast every 30 seconds, dealing nature damage over time, and the bloom effect at the end will cause a large amount of nature damage. I have heard that power word shields will protect you from the end damage, but not the tick itself. Inevitable Doom will be cast after 2 minutes into the encounter and every 30 seconds thereafter. It's a debuff that inflicts heavy shadow damage after remaining on the player for 10 seconds. The key to this encounter is managing the necrotic aura. This is a big change for this fight. It's a new ability in place, removing the debuff after casting a heal. Instead, every 20 seconds, WOTLK will cast Necrotic Aura on the raid, which reduces healing done by 100% for 17 seconds. This provides players a 3-second window to cast healing abilities every 20 seconds. So, minding your abilities and using them accordingly in this window to maximize your healing on the raid is the key to this fight. After you get that down, it's going to be a cakewalk. You just drop him and you move on to the next wing. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check us out on Docken_TV on Twitch. We're live 5 to 6 days a week. Hope to see you there. We might even be live right now.